This screen, it looks fine. Why does it look so much blurrier on actual YouTube? I don't know why the stream is so blurry. Do I need to turn my volume up? Oh wait, I turned my gain down. How's this? Blurry. I need to turn my volume up. Oh wait, I turned my gain down. How's this? That sounds good. I'll mute the stream on my end now so we don't get feedback. And we will just wait a minute for people to arrive. What is the button? Okie dokie. Anyone watching the stream? I can now see the chat. Okay. I'm pretty sure all my settings are the same as last time, so I'm just gonna move this last thing out of the way. And grab my box of supplies, because I came prepared with a box this time. Okay. Hold all the things. Let me just make sure everything is working right. I don't know why it's blurrier than it is on my OBS, and I don't know how to figure that out right now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna just go ahead and move into doing the YouTube intro thing. So, hello heroes, my name is Changer Hero, but you can call me Grady, and welcome back to this madness. And hey! It's on a wall this time. I'm not gonna get boxed by a whiteboard. I mean, I could still end up getting flat Stanley'd, but the good and bad with that is, that's cool. It's kind of a cool superpower to be flat. Kinda, a little bit. You can mail yourself. Probably suck a lot more than it did in that book. Bad, I don't think anybody who isn't my age or older is going to understand that reference, which is a little sad. I don't know. I'll probably have some Flat Stanley books in my teacher's library when I teach it to children. Couple things. I do still have a few little tidbits to throw on the board here. As you can see, I did redo the whole thing. Okay, maybe not. This is still here and this is still here. I am going to change the actual title so it's more visible, because I know the blue is more of just a gradient type. What am I talking about? I'm a little tired. I was in my living room printing out and refiguring this whole thing. I think like the whole night, essentially. So, we're gonna truck right along. Okay. Let's see, this page is today. Is there anything on here I need today? Or right now, I mean. Anything? Let's see, that's later, that's later, that's later. This is a later, this is a later. I could put this up now. I could cut this part out, at least. So we've got this part, we got this part, these, this. Okay. I know the plan. So, there's 2 people in chat, or at least viewing. Hello. Welcome to the mild-mannered insanity that has befallen me. I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick recap of everything we went over in the last stream. As well, I just realized another thing I didn't put on the board again. I'm going to do a recap of everything we talked about in the last stream in a much more condensed form, as well as I'll tell you the plans for today, because I can at the very least say we're not going to go for 3 hours probably. It's probably going to be closer to 1 or 2. Mostly because I don't want to end up like the last time, where I kind of, by the time that I realized I was getting past the point that I had images prepared for, that it was probably not the time to keep working on that. Also, again, you'd think I'd be better at arts and crafts as an educator, especially one who's worked 4th grade before. That door closed. Okay, it's good. We're down to 1 person. Cool. Party of 1. That party of 1 might even just be myself watching in another tab so that I can see the stream delay. So that's fun. I don't care. We are gonna keep on rolling. So, in the off chance that anyone does pop in, hi. I'm Grady. I will react to chat. I don't know why I'm saying this for only 1 person who might only be myself, but if you have questions, I maybe should just like put a graphic up. That questions are highly encouraged. Anything like that. So we've got that image. Let me cut a couple things out. So I'm just gonna cut these last couple things out, and then we'll do recap. Okay. Feels a lot nicer to be standing than to have been forced to the floor. A couple things I can say real quick while I'm still cutting these out is obviously, in redoing the board, I've reprinted out all the images, and some of them are in color. Why? My printer decided to be dumb, and I clicked the grayscale option. I might have said this last time too, but there's a couple images on here that I just for time's sake, it was easier for me to go on to like YouTube or Google Images to grab portrait images and scene images. I've played through the game. I have 70 hours, 80 hours in the game, so I feel fine about that. Obviously, it's just an expediency thing. But some of them are in different colors or color palettes, really, which are in the game and are cool and look nice, and I like them. I just had a thought for later regarding color palettes, so that's neat. But yeah, so the images, I printed them out larger. You can also see from the fact that I cut out certain images a little different. Like, this isn't just a square. This is actually like an actual outline cut out. I went ahead and in my art program cut out a bunch of black so that we can save ink, because that is expensive. And for a game that is very few tones and is about the void, there's a lot of black pixels in this game. So I obviously did not cut out all of the backgrounds. Like, the one I'm cutting out right now has a lot, because I had to move pretty quickly. Just, yeah. We're just starting relaxed. Last time I was a lot more hectic, trying to make sure everything happened the way I wanted it to happen perfectly. You know, perfectly balanced as all things should be. But really, this time around, we are just gonna keep it chill. You can tell because I'm not wearing my main performance outfit. A little more relaxed today. A little less all over the place. Okay, I'm still all over the place. That is just who I am. I have a goal, and I will run with scissors if I have to towards that goal. I should just finish cutting things out. I don't know why I put this down. Okay, last image to cut out for now. So I also went back and re-looked at a bunch of things in the game. Last time I mentioned, I think, about a secret path or something along the lines of something you can do with one of the Void Lords that shows up throughout the labyrinth. Which, by the way, this is your anybody watching the stream back. This is your warning. Go play this game, or at the very least, watch somebody else play through it. Seriously, it'd be a lot more fun than probably watching this stream. Let's be real. This is more so for my sake than anyone else's. Okay, couple things off the bat. I have a black marker this time. Cool beans. So, where do we start? Where did we start? So initially, when we were talking about Void Stranger, I made a big deal of like, oh, there's like 15 places we could start trying to explain this whole damn thing. Namely, hey, Don't tell my students I'm doing this with an expo marker. They would kill me. I have to tell them not to do this because it wastes marker. but this is not a math problem. So I was trying to figure out where to start, because we could start at the beginning of the characters in Void Stranger's story, Lady Grey and Lily. We could start at the beginning of the timeline of Void Stranger. We could start at the beginning of the game. So the beginning of the game is not the beginning of the characters. Beginning of the timeline of Void Stranger is not the beginning of either. We could start at the beginning of Zero Ranger. We could start at the beginning of the timeline for the characters of Zero Ranger. We could start at the beginning of all time in Zero Ranger. And of course, we could start in any of the timelines in Zero Ranger. And obviously, by the fact that nothing Zero Ranger, almost, I don't know how well this shows up on screen, but this was fun. We started with Void Stranger. I think my body is fighting against me. I might need to step away for a moment in a second. So, where we started, I talked about a scene from the start of the game, and then we jumped into the story of Grey. Wow, I sized this out perfect. Let's go, me. Heck yeah. Void Stranger. Oh, gosh. Okay, so, now we can fully recap. Okay. So, we started off with our main character, Grey. She's walking in a place, kind of not doing too hot. She finds a square hole and bam, she jumps right down it. So, from there, we're gonna jump back in time to the start of Grey. Grey's story. So, Grey, also known as Lady Grey, is the lady in waiting to Lily, the princess, sometimes referred to as Demon Princess. They are very close. Grey is essentially Lily's closest and maybe only friend. I don't know how accurate that is, but let's just say I don't like her dad. He's not my favorite. He's just kind of a king from fantasy, medieval time. He's like, I have to marry off my daughter for the sake of the kingdom. And it's not, I'm not here for it. She's not here for it either. She's pretty great. She's rambunctious. She's a brat. She's not afraid to fight, and she will probably win, which is interesting because I don't know how. She beat up a bunch of knights, so something there. I don't know how accurate this title of demon is. I don't know if it's a metaphor or if it's not. And I've played 70, 80 hours into the game. So, a lot of confusion there, safe to say. So, Grey basically raised Lily. Lily's mom, the queen, is dead. Has been, get out of here. Has been for a very, very long time. It's implied in a couple ways that Grey and Lily's mom, pretty close. This amulet, I forgot to draw. I'm gonna draw the amulet. That's important. Yeah, that's important. Okay. So this, as I will remind you, is an amulet that Grey has on for pretty much the whole story. Except for just before Lily's wedding, which we'll get to in a sec. where she gives it to Lily, and you get the achievement for the umpteenth time in your time playing through Void Stranger, a wedding gift. An achievement, the only achievement in the game, and you get it every time you start a new run. Kind of. There's a few exceptions. So, wedding gift. Man, it is nice to have this on a wall. This is so much sturdier. Okay. So, Lady in Waiting to Lily, they basically are in a situation where she's basically her mom, mother, kind of, maybe older sister is a better kind of vibe between them, but they're very, very close. Gray is definitely older than Lily, we know that for sure, and it's not romantic. I know that much, at the very least. That would be icky. But, so, Lady Gray and Lily, after a point, which, by the way, this is just a sprite from the game when she's pretending to be a monster of wrath. Yeah. They eventually, Lily's beating up a bunch of her suitors, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Most dads. True! There's some good ones out there. I just saw a video of a guy talking about Hugh Neutron. Hugh's pretty cool. I like him. He's very not smart, but he's trying. He's trying. He's doing his best. Anyway. Hello. So, back on topic. So, after beating up a bunch of her suitors, Lily runs away to her mom's grave. The king's like, it'll be your head if my kid doesn't get married, which sucks. They come to the grave. They have a heart-to-heart. Lily's like, why don't you just run away with me? Or you're just my dad's lapdog. Gray's just like, dude, I have a job. Jobs are hard. But I'm your friend. I'm here for you. I want the best for you. I got you. Well, then this son of a bitch shows up. More like they show up on his doorstep. So, this is Johan. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but I drew a little mustache on his face. And I've dubbed him Axe Hat. I could not remove that. Oh, yeah, also. I need to replace the thing that fell off. Because I realized it. I'm color coordinating. You couldn't tell from a couple places. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so. Then this son of a bitch shows up. So they go to see the next suitor. There's a bunch of bandits. Gray reveals she's a badass and probably murdered a lot of people, I'm guessing. Like, just a lot. She gives off that impression. This dude, you've seen Berserk. He's Griffith. He's the bad guy. He's an ass. He sucks. He and Gray make an arrangement / possible affair where Gray wants Johan to marry Lily so that Lily can stop having to deal with all of the... It's even worse this time. Well, I didn't notice your comment for a while. That is fair. That I'm a little tired. I also noticed it's a little blurry, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it's like a... if it's just the camera settling type thing, but yeah. So, so they make an arrangement. Gray wants Lily to have freedom to basically do whatever she wants. Because she just is not... Royal duties is just not her... It's not her vibe. She did not pass that vibe check. Meanwhile, Johan, kind of into Gray. He knew her past somewhat. It's kind of bleh. I don't like him. I'd punch him in the face if I could. So, essentially, he seduces Lily. Lily falls for him, and as we will get to You timed it with a stopwatch. Well, I don't know what to do about that delay. Genuinely, I'm not equipped with that information. So, I'm just gonna keep going. Essentially, we move from there to Lily getting ready for the wedding. She's all super happy. They have a little dance. Gray talks about the queen, how the queen taught her to dance. Don't worry about it. No. Comments are... This is a stream. I should be able to interact with chat and this. Even if you are the only one chatting. That is fine. It makes for a more entertaining event. Okay. So. They get ready for the wedding. Day before the wedding. Gray's like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. She really likes you. Yeah, I can't let this happen. It's not healthy for her. It's not good for her. Yohan's like, man, I thought you were cool. Smite! Tries to kill her. She doesn't die. We're pretty sure the gravestone either A, acted as like a lightning rod to protect her somewhat from the damage. It's all fine. I get it. I didn't expect many people to be here. Lightning rod, or it might be like a metaphysical type thing where the queen was like, I don't want my friend to die in this way. I'm gonna reach beyond the grave and stop that from happening. So there's that possibility. There's not a whole lot of information on the queen, other than just some like basic appearance traits. Okay, so we get Gray returning to the castle. She goes and prevents Lily from jumping off a balcony because she got real scared. Something bad juju happened. Sky is turning black because there is an eclipse happening. There. That's a little forward in time. Gray gets to the chapel, she gets arrested first by Yohan, who's taking advantage of the fact that King ain't great father. He's not great. I don't like him. I'd smack him too, but I'd get put in jail if that was a situation I could be in. Gray crashes the wedding. She breaks out of jail with some help. Crashes the wedding more than it had already been crashed by the fact that Yohan massacred everybody except for Lily. The Void Lords appear. The Void Lords and a +1. Where is my picture? Where's my picture? My picture here. Okay, here's our tape. First picture added to the board this stream. There's some dog hair on the tape. Icky. Alright, we got Zero Judge. Now, okay, so we got B. Beelzebub. She shows up. She's playful, she's quirky, whatever. She shows up. It's like, man, this is pretty fun to watch. Lucifer, Sif, also shows up. She's like, man, can we get this over with? I don't want to be here. This is annoying. They show up. Yohan's like, aha, I'm an evil, dastardly Disney villain. I killed all these people for power unimaginable. Ha! He really does just go off on the dude. Again, beat him up. Eventually he's like, I can do whatever I want. And, you know, if you want to beat up this person, feel free, Void Lord B. And he does. Because Void Lords are voided. In the game, you have health until you die. If you die fully, you have two options. Start the game from scratch, kinda, or become voided. Eat the fruit of the void. Get Persephone'd. All the Void Lords have that, but at varying levels. B, when you fight her Final Fantasy style, which, again, is... Thanks, Motorcycle. When you fight B at this scene, she has Void 2 as her health. You literally cannot damage her at all. When you become voided in the game, you just have void. There are other bosses in the game, spoiler alert, who have voided health at other tiers, okay? So it is a tier system. Oh my god, we're getting power scaling in a puzzle game. Whoa. Okay. Anyways, B shows up, or they both show up. You fight B, you lose. Johann goes on another rant. Lily's like, screw that, I'm awesome. Hey, Void Lords, let me make a deal. Screw this guy. Johann's like, psh, you're just some stupid kid. You couldn't possibly have anything they want. And then Zero Judge shows up and is like, well, actually, you suck. And her devotion is pretty cool. Something called Diz really approves of this. You may make this deal. So Lily is like, alright, I'll give my soul to keep Gray alive. Whatever. Gray, I have one other thing to tell you, and then boom, the glass explodes and they all disappear. Johann's really pissed, but he's like, alright, still I'm gonna kill Gray. I'm gonna, and then B shows up, it's like, oh, sorry, Chief, you ran out of time to fulfill your contract. Sorry, I had to take your powers away. Hope you don't get bodied by this lady. Yeah, thank you. Hope you don't get bodied. Gone. She leaves. B is great. Love B. She's fun. She's got a lot of funny dialogue in the game. Very choice. Very good. Johann immediately goes into, well, I was just trying to protect my kingdom. No hard feelings, right? Bam! Gray is awesome. She just decks him. It's good. We get a little animation in there. We see the like anime cheek like inversion kind of thing. He goes flying, hits a wall, and starts bleeding out. Hope he's dead. Hope he's dead. Good riddance. Be gone, ass hat. Okay, so from there, we jump back to the point where the game starts. Gray jumps down the square hole that we saw in the beginning because the Void Lords told her that she could potentially come back for Lily. She just had to make it to the bottom of the void. So she goes into the void. On her journey down, she collects a series of trinkets. And here is the thing that I forgot to draw. Where do I want to... You know what, we're going to draw this up here so there's more room down here for other stuff. So, things you can get in the void. Okay, these are important. We've got the void. Man, I don't know how easy this is to see. Memory. Okay? It's a cube. It's cube. You find a cube. Now, last time I said that this was just Aggghh's memory, okay? But I ran into a bit of a conundrum, you see, when I went back and looked at the dialogue. See, first, all of the descriptions of the items, not the wedding gift is a separate thing, but of the 3 items you find in the void, the descriptions are written either by a lost soul turned into an egg. Egg. Can I offer you an egg in this trying time? Yes, you can. I would so go for a boiled egg right now. I'm gonna take a drink, actually, real quick. Because, I don't know if I told anyone this, but I had a water bottle next to me the entirety of last stream. And you can check the footage. I didn't open that the whole time. I was so dehydrated at the end. I'm not doing that again. I'm being healthier this time. Okay. But the description is either written by a lost soul or by a note left in the chest that you find the item in. But the note isn't written by Aggghhh, which... speaking of Aggghhh, I guess, oh yeah, I did need to cut one more image out. Okay. Well, we'll get to Aggghhh. Well, I can cut this out while going through stuff. So, It's not written by Aggghh, who, as a reminder of the story of like what happened with the Void Lords and all that, there was like a battle, like a war between the Void Lords or whatever. Before that point, Aggghh was essentially the head honcho. You know, she was the one in charge of everything, which makes sense because Abaddon, the full name of this Void Lord, because remember, the Void Lords have been around for so long, they don't remember their full names. That's why B goes by B and not Beelzebub, and Lucifer goes by Sith and not Lucifer. They literally do not remember their names, or, like, the majority of their pasts. Like, it's kind of wild and sad. Okay? And but Aggghh was the original head honcho of the Void, which is why it's mysterious that she just fucking died. We're at least 10 minutes. Yeah, we're 30 minutes into stream. I can say fuck. It's fine. It's fine. I will edit it out later. I don't care. There's no one here. I set the stream for not for kids. If you can't handle a swear, I'm sorry. This is not a full lecture. If I was teaching a class, or I was, you know, doing something a little more like not me losing my mind over a video game, sure, I would maybe mode switch to something a little more customer service voicey, but not today. So, all of the items I had just said were either ads or someone else's, or I just said where you get them. But the problem is that B has a description in all of the chests. Well, okay, 2 of the items are found in chests. One of them is found in someone's skull. You can take a wild guess which item that one is. Okay? I don't know if I even showed this image before of Aggghh, because we don't really see Aggghh. But at certain sections of every like 28 floors of the Void, we get a rest floor with our dream tree. I don't know how I forgot to get a picture of the dream tree, but just imagine it's a tree. It's just a tree. Okay? And we get one floor that is basically free. You can just go immediately to the exit, but there is a statue. Okay, there is a statue of a Void Lord, and it's not clear if it's like accurate to what they looked like, or if it's just like a, you know, like a painter or like a sculptor's vision, you know, kind of thing. Which throughout the dungeon or throughout the Void, there are smaller statues that take up 1 tile. There is a statue for every Void Lord, but these ones that show up on these free floors are more humanoid overall. Most of them, at least for the ones that aren't dead. The ones that are dead, or supposedly dead, they look horrific. They look in pain. Not great. But our statue for Aggghh looks like this. And this time I do not have the files open on my computer to show you the higher quality resolution, but when I edit this down and like into like a video format, I will probably flash up higher quality images so we're a little better. Okay. Give me a break. We're going for a little bit more speed right now. Okay, but these are Aggh's treasures. Like, we know they are directly attributed to Aggghh in some way, because both Tail, who I also need to put back up on the board, let's see, we'll put you right here. Okay. But the Void Lords that we do get to talk to throughout the dungeon, which are Tail, who was once Use, Asmodeus, Eus, and Gore, Belphegor, who is in a much worse state to Tail, because Tail is basically just a full person. She's basically just a Lamia, in appearance at least. Gore's just a head. Like, not even a full head at that. She's got, like, a hole running through half of her face where her eyes should be. Real sad. I feel bad for her. Let her be. Let her be. Or give her body back. It's not... My heart goes out to this eldritch abomination being. Very, very sad. But back to Ad. Or not Ad. But back to Add's treasures. I know I'm losing track of this, but it's because I'm adding more new information this time than I had last. So, B is the one who writes the descriptions on the notes found in the two that are in chests. And it's really weird, because one, why does B know where they are? Although it's kind of implied that these three know that Add's treasures are hidden around and where they are. So, interesting information there. Also, I hope you enjoy the fact that I have tried to make it at least slightly more clear what the three-letter... So all of the Void... This is interesting. All of the Void Lords go by three-letter names. And at one point, when you're talking to the nun as Gray, because there's a nun you can come across in the Void. She, at one point in her dialogue, says, "Do you believe in star, star, star?" Like, it's bleeped out or something. It could literally be any of them, or it could just be God. And there's a couple points where that comes up, and I don't really have much to say about it, other than, I don't know! I'm confused! Abaddon. Okay? And then we could go ahead... Oh, I can put Mon... I can throw Mon back up here, since I cut that out. So B, when you get the Void memory, I think she just says something like, "Hey, this isn't yours, you really shouldn't be here." So for that description, we don't get a whole lot of information about what it is, what it represents. Conversely, we get a lot more interesting line when we talk about the next one. But this cube, the cube of knowledge, the cube of memory, it is called the Void memory. Now, last time, I think I can't remember if I fully implied this, but this cube is what auto-translates what the eggs, monsters, statues, and murals say. Now, for the murals and any visual written version of the Void speak or Void language, there is an actual way to translate that you yourself, but you straight up cannot see the dialogue if it is not, if you don't have the cube and you're talking to somebody, okay? Can't see it. Just, you get ... or you get nothing. Or it just, won't even pull up a text box. This Void memory, however, is implied to literally be a memory, like a set of memories of someone. The problem is that we know that it has to revolve around Add, but we don't know how. Why is this a pain in the butt? Also, we don't know how the memory cube revolves around Add. Yeah, I still have my red flag. Okay, there's two ways that this can work. Two ways that I see this working. Number one, this cube literally just has all of Add's memories, or at least pieces of Add's memory. She is Abaddon, if you don't know, Abaddon is like a Hebrew figure who is in charge of essentially like like a void. It's like less described as like a hell. It's more like a nothingness. Like it's the end, full stop. There's nothing. Interesting figure. Yeah, fun Googled rabbit hole. I was fun. So there's that. It could just be giving you bits and pieces of Add's mind, which is very interesting for something later. Option number 2, it could be someone else's memory of Add. You know, the difference here being I could say that if the cube was of my memory, of me, Grady, change your hero, whatever, I could say it's either my memory of me, or I could say it's someone else's memory of me. Those are two wildly different things, and they would give you very different connotations as to what the hell this cube is. Because if it's not Add's memory, whose is it? I would be inclined to say it's B, on account of the fact that she put the note in the chest. But since we don't know for sure which of those two ways of looking at the void cube, or the void memory, are the accurate one, or if either of them are accurate, let's be real, I could be totally wrong on that. I could be. We don't know. But if it is that situation, B is my number 1 candidate, because she absolutely interacted with it, and we know that for sure. The second, a lot more straightforward, it's wings, so we can fly. This is a really not good depiction of wings. They are the. Somebody opened a door. Ooh, that spooked me a little bit. Okay. Let me get my eraser. We'll give this another shot. Let me just put the eraser there. Okay. You know what? I don't have to draw this the same way that the game does. It's a pair of wings. They are the void wings, and they make the game significantly easier because you can move over one-tile gaps, which changes the entire gameplay from the ground up. It's essentially a different game when you get these. Not that it wasn't already a different game when you are able to talk to things. That's not as big of a change, though, to the gameplay. The wings also have a note from B, which she says, and I want to remind you, this is B. Beelzebub. You know? The demon that is like the lord of the flies? I don't know if you know this, but flies are named after the thing they do, you know, with wings. Why does she not have those? Is she just talking in this form? Because, like, she does have another one, and I did bring this up. I totally forgot or no, I didn't forget. It's hard to get to that point in the game where she turns into a monster. To get a picture of this. You know what, actually, no. Actually, I could have, same way I found this image, I could, yeah, never mind. She turns into a horrific monster thing, whatever. She has wings. I'm pretty sure she has wings. I need to double check, but she's like, I wish I had wings too. Number 1, there are, again, 2 ways we can interpret this. Either A, B is giving up her wings. But the way it's phrased, I wish I had wings too, or not too, but it's like close to that. Implication is that these are not hers. These were never hers. She wished she had wings. As if she was saying so in the past. So, I want to know why she doesn't have wings. Maybe you could argue maybe it's she maybe was injured in like the battle, the War of the Void Lords or whatever. That's an option. That's actually a pretty good thought. I just came up with that on the spot. Number 2, I think it is more likely that these are Aggghh's wings. Because all the Void Lords, I'm guessing, have wings and their own version of the Void Memory. Ooh, actually, I just remembered something that I don't know if we're going to get to it in this. I don't think we are. But the next time, I just remembered a thing that makes that more likely. I think that is more likely. I think every Void Lord, to some extent, has a Void Memory, I crossed out part of it, and Void Wings. I'm pretty sure that's true. Not all of them have a sword, but some of them do. Okay, I just kind of, yeah. The other one, the third one, is the sword. The Void Sword. Or the Ornate Sword. Okay? Or it's like the Void Blade or whatever. It's a cooler name, but whatever. I'm writing the board. Void Blade, you don't find in a chest. The Void Blade, you find inside of Ton's skull. Say Ton. Which, again, I want to remind everybody that we are not in your standard modern depiction of, like, Bible demon-y folk, okay? I know a lot of people sometimes get confused about, like, wait, shouldn't Beelzebub and Lucifer and Satan all be the same person? Not always. That's sort of like a translation problem where they all got kind of bundled together, but they were never, like, originally all meant to be the same person. They all it's just a translation thing. Some, like, it depends on the story, essentially. But, just so you know, these are not the same person, this is not the same person, and this person is also tragic, which, by the way, if you couldn't notice, I just mentioned a character, Gore, missing one eye. Yeah, this one is missing the opposite eye, and they're apparently sisters. So that's even more sad. Because you kill you kill them. You stab them with the sword you pull out of their face. And that's how you get the sword. If you're this far, you either should know that or you should have watched someone play through it. I gave you spoiler warnings. Here we are. But yeah, so Ton, you don't really get a big description. I do know that there is like a situation you can do, depending on how you go back and forth from Gore and Ton, where I think you can get some dialogue from Ton about Gore, but I don't know specifically what it is. I just know that there is somewhere in the game where that happens. However, Ton does not have a whole lot of story relevance outside of how you get the sword, so she's going to go, I think, like right here-ish, something like that. Okay. So, oh, wait, I have Gore. This is Gore. Aside from the fact that she is just a head, and very sad and unfortunate and missing an eye, that's a hole. On first glance, you might think that's just an open eye. No, it's an open wound. Also, she just wants to die, and I think that's unfortunate. Now, to be fair, Void Lords don't have, like, a normal like a human perception of life and death, so she's like, this doesn't matter. And I'm not real torn up about it. It's all good. I've been around a very long time. It doesn't really matter. In fact, at one point, she's like, hey, you humans have, like, talk about this thing called reincarnation. Do you know if that's real or not? Because I don't want it to be. I'm just good. I'm just done. And that's... man. Mood. Just squeaked the floor. Okay. Squeaked the floor talking about Gore. On Gore. There's some wordplay. So... But we do know the sword is absolutely Aggghh's, because Aggghh used the sword to mostly kill Tan. It is the only sword, it is noted, that the Void Blade is the only sword that can kill a Void Lord. Okay? It is the only sword that can kill a Void Lord. That definitely comes up. Oh, well, I mean, it comes up immediately when you're talking about Gore, because when either Gray, when Gray gets to Gore, if you have the sword already, if you've already killed Tan, okay, you've already killed her because you can run into her first, and you have the sword when you get to, when you run into Gore, okay, you could kill her. You could kill her, you can give her the mercy. If you don't have the sword, you miss Tan. You don't get there. Because you can miss it because it's off the beaten path. Okay? She will give you the request to go back to Tan. And she will give you a clue as to mechanics of the game that enable you to go back up floors. Which is very helpful. She also reveals something that essentially all of the statues in the game that are 1x1 tiles, they all have a mechanical function. All of them. They don't immediately look like it, but all of them can do something. Okay? And I will remind you quickly. I thought another door opened. All of them. Oh, there's actually, I'm gonna have to. Well. That one's a little scuffed. When I again, because I'm gonna have to do what I did in between streams and make the board look prettier. I'm gonna have to do that. I will space this out better. She will give you the request to go to Tan. Now knowing that you can mess with the floors and stuff to go back up. Now, if you are going through this game, and on the off chance that, like I said, there's a guy who is a PhD named Dr. Brian, no relation to my father, going around and trying to solve this, and he's on like 80-something videos about his dive into this game, which is like commendable. Dang, good job on you. If you see this, I think at the time of recording this, I think you just barely missed this trigger, but you miss Tan, you go to Gore. Gore gives you the request to go get the sword from from Tan's face and come back to kill her. If you do this, when you come back, you do not find Gore. You find B, because B is she's a hoot. She's a hootenanny. She's a little wacky. She's a little scam. See. Knocking on the door or whatever, but okay. So she's like, yeah, I had to punish her for telling you our secrets and all that. I didn't kill her because that'd be too nice, so I just moved her body and messed with it, which is just like, damn, girl, chill. That's not necessary. You could have just get blocked. Could have just poked her. Shit. She literally can't move. She's just sitting there. I feel like she's been punished enough. Leave her be. Or give her the courtesy of dying or something. I don't know. Okay. So put tail here while I'm talking about this. But you do this. And B is just like, well, whatever, bye. I don't want people to know our secrets, bye-bye. She does like a little wink thing and twirls up into the air, she's gone. Whatever. But after that, you go to the next floor. Now, the egg in the floor where you actually talk to Gore, normally is just like, well, good job, if you can get to it, because you can only get to it if you stab her. It's usually like, good for her, finally gets to, achieve that peace she's always wanted. I bet she's very thankful for what you've done. Cool. This time around, the egg's like, man, that kind of sucks for her. I bet there's no way you can find her again. That's a lie. You absolutely can after this. Literally the next floor down, or not the next floor, I think it's two-ish floors, there is a hole that normally is a secret. Like it's an exit thing that when you're going throughout the void, if you have a certain number of locust idols, which are your life counter essentially, but it's also a currency kind of, Mammon, who, by the way, is supposedly dead, but we come to realize that this is Mammon, and also this thing on his forehead. I didn't realize what this was, and I think that's so sick once you realize what it is. He sells you, for all of your idols, if you have enough on certain floors, he will give you a hint towards essentially a way to jump a bunch of floors. But it shows you a secret floor in between. This is one of those. This is another way you can find one of those. You fall down this hole. Normally, it just lets you you skip a bunch of floors. This time around, in the first hole, there's a bunch of stink lines above it. And the egg in that room is like, that smells gross. I don't like it. I wouldn't go down there. You go down there, obviously. On that secret floor, there's another hole. Or at least you can make a hole. It teaches you a mechanic for the next a bunch of these secret floors where you have to finished. Lorgon just finished. Oh, he just finished? Oh, cool. Good for him. Okay. I didn't expect anyone to show up who actually knew what I was talking about, so cool. Awesome. Okay, so so we get to this point. Oh god, I lost my track. So you have this situation where you have to triangulate or quadrangulate. I don't know if that's a word, but there's a series of enemies sitting around a tile, and if you get to that middle tile and pick it up, it reveals stink lines. You drop down it, and you end up in sort of like a mini dungeon kind of thing, where it's a series of this puzzle. But, like I said, all the statues in the game have a secret purpose. One of them, I'm pretty sure, it's not Mammon, it's not Gore, it's not Ton, it's not hers, it's not Sif, it's not B, it might be Lev. I think it's Leviathan's statue. Someone tell me I'm wrong. Someone tell me I'm wrong if that's in the chat or somewhere. It's the one that you can only pick up or put down tiles for the number of this statue that are in the room. I'm pretty sure it's Leviathan statues. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there eventually. That's farther along, but I'm on a tangent. Anyways, there are statues that say, if there's only 2 statues, if you pick up or put down, sweet, glad I remembered that. If you pick up or put down this tiles this many times, and it counts them both as individual actions, so that's important to know, you put the tile down, you die. You pick up the tile, you die. Whatever. All of these rooms, they have 2, so you can only pick up 1 tile, which is the tile that you need to jump down a hole. You get 1 shot. There's also a bunch of bee statues and like a jazzy music theme going on, so it's kind of like hey, there's a fun little mini game we're having here. It's cool. This is for the secret. This is for the people who figured this out. I missed it my first 3 or 4 times down, but man, was this fun to go through. It's a fun series of puzzles. Okay. But you do that. You keep going down the stinky holes. And at the very bottom, you find, I didn't print off a picture of this, but you find Gore. She's been turned into like a cube of slime, and if it was in color, full color, I'm pretty sure it'd just be red and goopy, and God, that looks like it hurts. And you, thankfully, end her Because, oh my god, she didn't even have a mouth at that point. She couldn't even scream. I don't know if she would, but if I got turned into a block of jello, I think I might have an existential crisis right there. It doesn't look good. Now, if you have the sword turned on, because you can turn all 3 of these on or off in the settings, even if after you've gotten them. If you have it turned off, you do not immediately kill her when you talk to her, because when you don't even talk to her, you're just like, oh, this thing looks disgusting. Ha! You immediately do it. You cannot make the choice. You walk up to it, you click it to talk with it, it goes one time. It goes through the dialogue all the way, gone. You kill Gore's mutilated corpse. Rest in peace. But I did find out that if you go back, if you were to do this and you turn the sword off in the settings, you don't immediately kill her. I don't know, because I've only made it through the thing once. Because I didn't have a whole lot of time. I'm a college student. I'm losing my mind. I don't know if this gets you different dialogue or not. Before the next stream, because there's going to be another one. It's probably going to be next Saturday, and that's when we're going to go over the 3rd part, and then we're really going to start getting into the wacky stuff. That's when we're going to get into Zero Stranger Zone, because, spoiler alert, they're related. They're really related. Oh my god, they're related. So, I don't know if the dialogue changes or not, but I know that's a thing, and I am going to double check that. Back to this. So, really quick, the statues. Okay? I really should be looking at my notes. I have a book of notes. Okay? I wrote a bunch of notes for this, but we're going off script. We went off script immediately. We're an hour in, and we're so off what I was planning to do. So the statues. Let me just flip to the page where I have all of them listed. Okay. Add statues. I don't remember if add has statues, and I don't remember what they do, if they do anything. Use a statue. I don't know if use a statue has... Oh, no. Use a statue only appears in a specific set of zones, but when you push it off like the edge into the void, it creates a new tile that you can walk on. Really cool mechanic, really hard puzzles related to it. B statues, if you die directly in front of it and you have X number of locusts, instead of losing a life, you lose all your lives and go that many floors down. Cool mechanic. Mammon. Mon statues also only show up in specific secret zones. You walk in front of them, you die. You walk anywhere in front of them, you get bonked. You get turned into like gold or something because he's greedy. He's a thief. He steals. He's a little gremlin. Also, this is a good opportunity for me to explain my tagging system here. No, finish this, and then I will explain that. I'm so ADHD brain right now. Okay, so Mammon statues kill you. Ton statues act as like a barrier. If there is any enemy or being, which there's some sad moments if, in the game here, if there's any other being besides you in a room with a Ton statue, the Ton statue is just a statue that you can move. Usually it's a blockade, or like a thing preventing you from moving past it. If you kill all the beings or entities in that room, they disappear, they explode, they're gone. Cool mechanic. Gore statues, another one only in secret areas. If you push it once, it becomes solid. You cannot move it again. Just stuck. Cannot do anything with it. Cool mechanic. I thought that was real fun to do in the secret stuff. Lev statues, we just mentioned, are you get X number of Void Rod usages. I keep hearing noises. This is not my house. It's a family member's house. They have good internet, that's why I'm here, so that I can actually do this stream. Okay. Keep hearing weird noises. Anyway, maybe I'm gonna get sent to the void. Who knows? Could be spooky. Sif statues. Spoiler alert. You should know that I talked about this last stream. If you put the stairs under Sif's statue, you get sent back to floor 1 on the same run. Time doesn't reset or anything. The run is not reset. You just get sent to floor 1. Cool mechanic. I like how it was introduced. I actually missed it the first time because my first playthrough, I refused to eat the fruit. So I only realized what it did after. I probably could have made it through the game way faster if I'd just eaten the fruit and then gone. Yeah, I made it hard on myself. I could have shaved off maybe like 20 hours just from me not being stupid and stubborn, but it's fine. And then Diz. Oh wait, Diz is not a Void Lord. Diz is not a Void Lord. Diz is another thing entirely. Real quick, I have green here for Gray, green on Lily, and then I have green and orange. If you get why I did that, cool. But green, cool character, good person overall, pretty chill. I've got pink. I didn't have red sticky notes, so we got hot pink. He's due to water. He's due to water. Get him gone. Mon also, but I like Mon. He is a piece of shit. He's a little. I swear here. Just so you know, he sucks. He's a little gremlin man, but I like him. I like this one. I don't like him. I would rather beat him up. I could have a fun conversation with Mon. I would have to force myself not to wring this man's throat. Cool, we get that. Hot pink means bad guy. Yellow. Beelzebub and Sif, they're actually pretty chill. They're just kind of doing their job, really. I mean, they do some funky things with Rohan, but that's more of like, hey, send some lost souls our way, dude, so we don't die or whatever. Or I don't think they die, they just starve or something like that. Either way, they're mostly neutral, and we'll get to some information later where I might even just switch these out for green, because they're pretty cool. I like both of these characters a lot. They're very fun. Real quick, let's add these monikers to the other ones. Let's see. Even though Ad died in the war or whatever, they're cool, they're chill, they're cool. Tail, I mean, Yu's whole thing was like, I'm gonna try this Sin thing out, just to see what it's like, and then that started a whole war. Despite that, honestly, I'm on their side. I think that's dumb. I didn't even write their name yet. I'm on their side. I think that was an overreaction. Okay. And don't take any knowledge. Don't think too hard about the fact that there's some empty space on this next to this picture that I'm definitely not setting up room for another picture. Definitely not. Definitely not. Okay. But yeah, no, Tail, use, pretty chill. I like them. I am gonna use my naming scheme of additional. Oh man, I messed up the name over here. Of writing additional naming information in another color. It's fine, I'll fix that later. So we'll write Tail. Okay, it's just another name. Okay, they're pretty chill. Honestly, I think that, I don't know. I get there's supposed to be rules or whatever, but rules only go so far. Gore, even sadder. Gore was not on either side, but she just got mutilated because she didn't participate, and that is... Wow. Unfortunate. Big sad. Not great. Ton is a victim of mental health, and I think that's unfortunate. Ton literally didn't want to be around people. Period. That's why the statues work like that. Ton being around people makes them super uncomfortable. It's not that they're a bad person, they're just uncomfy. They're not vibing. So when this war happened and they were forced to participate, and they were forced to get really, really aggressive, they couldn't stop being aggressive. And that's why they got reduced to that. Honestly, they get a green sticker too. And an I'm sorry card in the mail. Cool. Right. You meet a bunch. Okay, so we gotta pick up the pace here, because this is just supposed to be the recap of last stream. Like, this wasn't even supposed to be what we're talking about now. This is the recap. I just got off on a tangent talking about the void objects because I wanted to correct myself on some things. So, right, I'm gonna gloss over the other people you talk to in Gray's run, because they're not super necessary for today. Finally, at the very end of the void, you make it back to talk to Beelzebub and Lucifer and Zero Judge. Cool. They then reveal, psych, even though you're cool, you've got that devotion, you've earned a contract from Diz, you could bring one soul back. Problem is, this human piece of garbage did the nasty with her, and did the thing, and now there's a baby, and the baby counts. I did mention this. I'm not gonna get political. We're not gonna talk about all that. But for the context of this game, the baby had a soul. Okay, we're not gonna talk about it. I don't wanna. I'm in Florida. I don't want to get eviscerated. I don't want to get stabbed. We're not talking about it. Because I genuinely am a little worried where I currently am streaming this from, that I could get, like, genuinely, like, someone off the street could try to, like, do that. It's a little TMI. But just know, we're not touching it. Okay. Gray, what did you think Gray would do? She'd take the baby, of course. Why? We're gonna kind of get to why. There's a little bit of speculation around it. I do. The person in the chat who knows Lorgon. I always forget the R. I agree with him on certain things. There are a couple places where my interpretation differs, and we're gonna get to those today. So that's cool. Well, actually, his interpretation might have changed since he finished the game, so I don't know. Okay, so right, start of the game. Or, I'm sorry, you get to the end of the game. You've taken a baby back. Why would you do that? We don't know. It's time for me to the favorite pastime of cutting more things out. So you get a sort of mini cutscene of what happens after Gray is let out of the void with the baby. Problem is, it's not medieval times anymore. She's not, in a land of castles and, magic and, well, it's still pretty war-ridden. It's modern day, let's be real. War sucks. But you get Gray in the middle of a street, like modern day asphalt street in like a city, like it's like a four-way intersection. All right, we got this four-way intersection kind of thing. Okay, So this is where our plot continues, because the game is nowhere close to done when you beat it with grade for the first time. You're not even close. You're not even remotely close. Okay. We'll do this here. Okay. So you end up in modern day, right? You end up on the street, all that, boom, you're holding baby. You're holding a baby. You're holding a baby. Cuts, the game shuts down. Game is turned off, and you can't really do much other than turn it back on. When you turn it back on, you are immediately graced, at least your first time. After this, you can change it up a little bit, but you are immediately graced with a new cutscene of a whole other person. Actually, I'm gonna... Where is my picture? Did I not print a picture of Lily? Oh my god, how am I that dumb? Wow. I really thought... Did I just miss it in my program? Hold on, this is a problem. This is a problem, because this is the main character portrait. Shoot. I might just have to throw this on a layer of the stream, because this is an important... Technical difficulties. You know what? I fought a whiteboard last time. Oh! That's the problem! I left my last... It's in the printer. It's still in the printer. It's in the printer at my house. I am a fool. I am a fool. I am a foolish fool who was foolishly fooled. I cannot go get that. So for today, I really didn't want to pull up another thing, but okay. Where is window capture? Add source. Where? Come on. Fire alpaca. Boom. Okay. I don't know how to cut, to like shift the thing. Okay. Okay. So we will just, by the power of zoom-ins. I really didn't want to have to fiddle with this today. Okay. This is, we're jumping the gun with some of these images. I was going to cut this out, but this lady right here, that's the baby. That's the baby all grown up. That's, Lily. You know, Lily's daughter. Lily. Thanks, System Erasure. Thank you for this confusion. Now, you think that's confusing? When we get to Zero Ranger, there's a third one! Actually, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure there's more than 3. So... Okay! So yeah, lot of confusion here. We're gonna get to that. That's my catchphrase for the murder board streams, is we're gonna get to that. But just know, Lily's daughter, Lily, I'm gonna just have to do a doodle on the board for now. We'll do, like, right here. Just do... I swear I'm an artist. I swear I draw. But I don't have a whole lot of... I'm trying to do this quick. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Got the coat. Da-da-da. Here we go. And da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. There we go. There we go. Stand in, Lily. So this is Lily, okay? Spelled instead of like that. All right, instead of spelled like that, we are gonna spell it the way the game spells it, which is different, is L-I-L, another L, I, E, Lily. Okay? So, when talking about this game and talking about these characters, I think everybody runs into this, this having to figure out how to refer to them differently. Lorgon uses modern Lily. I'm tempted to just maybe do that. She doesn't really have a nickname like Demon up there, so I don't have really any like additional nicknames to throw on here for her. But to show that she is the modern day Lily, I'm gonna just draw. I drew a little crown on the other ones. I'm gonna draw a little stopwatch. Little stopwatch. Okay, that's our modern Lily. What a beautiful picture. What a beautiful, very rushed picture. Okay. So Lily, not to be confused with Lily. It's her first scene that we see of her is of her in a cab being driven up to a house, which we later find out to be her and Gray's house in the modern world. And she's looking for something. We come to find out that that's a birth certificate. And there's a couple other details of the house, but we're going to get to it a little later. We're going to come back to this. But someone's being a little rascal. Someone's having a little fun. A little goofy. A little fun here. And instead of telling you what they did, we're going to do what we did at the very beginning, where we talked about the first scene of the game, and then talked about the story up to that point. I just wanted to give you another, for the people who are not well-versed in this. The fact that this game is really good about setting up anticipation, expectations. Oh my gosh, the amount of, questions that you have when you run into this for the first time. No context. You don't know that this is the baby at first. You don't. She looks like Lily. This lovely portrait absolutely looks like this person up here. But, I could go ahead and throw up a green sticker because Lily's cool. This one. They're both cool. Different reasons, but they're cool. We're going to jump all the way back. We're going to jump back here, actually. At the very end of a normal, I'm going to specify this, a normal ending of a Lily run. Because, spoiler alert, you play as Lily in the second, and after you beat it as Gray, you play as Lily. After this, at the very end of a normal Lily run, there are a set of jigsaw puzzles, which are the most actually Sokoban puzzles out of all the puzzles in the game, which I think is kind of fun. I really liked the puzzles. They were a fun change of pace. I got through them all on my like first run through, and I was heart-wrenched immediately. Oh my gosh. This game has my heart and soul ripped out, thrown into the void, and I had to dive in to go and find them. So, I should have been cutting these out as I was talking, but we're going to quickly go through this cutscene because it talks about essentially how Gray was able to then get translated. Like you don't go from the medieval ages to the modern day and just immediately be fine. Like, you need money, you need, like, social security, or I don't know, this is Finland, or I know they're Finnish. I don't know where, I know they have I know there's like a Finnish flag somewhere in the flag. Yeah, it's probably Finland. I'm a little out of it. I'm a little out of it at this point, y'all. But there essentially is a cutscene at the very end where you're going through a bunch of... I should be cutting out while I'm talking. Where there are a bunch of little jigsaw puzzles you gotta put together. And they essentially are of a phone call that Lily, as an adult, very close to that scene that starts off Lily's descent into the void, has with another character who, I'll just tell you their name now. I've got a portrait, but we're gonna get there. Gotta be patient. That starts off essentially saying that Freya, the person who found Gray in the middle of the street holding a baby, she herself was very pregnant at this moment in time. So seeing another lady in the street holding a baby, she couldn't really not do anything about that, because Freya is pretty cool. She's only in like a couple cutscenes of the game. She's pretty chill, pretty good. She passes the vibe check, that's for sure. But she finds Gray in the street. You know what? I don't actually need to put all of these pictures up here. There's a few unnecessary ones. I can skip that one. We can just do these two. We can just, we could condense. I didn't need to print all of these out. And I am going to have to cut off part of another image because I did not block these well enough. But Freya finds Gray in the middle of a busy street. And despite the fact that they can't communicate because Gray is from the medieval fantasy age, where English, or I guess Finnish, or I don't know if that's I think it's Suomi? That's the other language you find on the title screen of the game. It's English or Suomi? I don't know how to say it. I wish I did. I should have looked this up before trying to say it. But upon finding her in the street, she takes them in. She takes them to a doctor. Lily's doing really good. You know, all smiles there. But Gray is, like, battered and bruised. Like, now, we know the context that she had just gone through a fight with B, and B is an eldritch abomination monster. So even someone as powerful as Gray, normally, okay, this is them meeting in the street. Well, even someone as powerful as Gray is, like, took a pretty hefty L right there. Not fun time. Not a fun time at all. Okay? But the more important, the more pressing issue that they find, apart from her being super, super roughed up, okay, is the fact that she doesn't have a uterus or ovaries, and there's no signs of, like, medical doohickery. They're just gone. It's not clear if she never had them to begin with, or, as our, omniscient perspective, or not omniscient, but our overhead perspective of events, if they were magically removed somehow. But either way, it's an interesting detail because we didn't need it to know that Lily couldn't be Gray's kid. I mean, they don't look all that similar apart from when they do kung fu poses and shit. Which is great. I do like that she does the same pose. So throughout the game, Gray does have sprites in the cutscenes. She does not have these sprites in normal Void gameplay, but in the cutscenes she does, where she gets into like a fighting pose and stuff. But it's the same fighting pose that Lily does, and I think that's cute. It's a cute detail. Cute detail. There's a lot of little details that just make me smile. I should have just printed these out as separate images, or on separate pages, because that's I have a line through it. Okay. But there are a couple reasons why this might be the case. So I mentioned it in the last stream that there are some theories that Gray herself might be related to the Void Lords. Not maybe directly, but she doesn't know. Like, it's like there's a lot of talk of like memory issues and things not quite adding up. Actually ironic that I did that. That was not an intentional thing. Okay. Some people, just as a refresher, some people think that Gray herself might be some sort of version of Aggghh. However, considering the fact that Aggghh is not dead, spoiler alert, I'm tired. Ooh, I did not mean to say that. Whoops. Or wait, no, she is dead. It's just a kind of dead. Just like how Gore is kind of dead, and Ton is kind of dead, and Yuz is kind of dead. She's kind of dead, but in a different way. That's why I got confused. Some people think that Gray might have some sort of relation to Aggghh. Now, there's a couple reasons to this. Number one, throughout the game, there are a couple, let's say, similar visuals that I will talk about later because I want to keep everything kind of in order between them. There's certain characteristics we hear about both of them that are similar, and there is mention of like potential reincarnation. We don't know if that's maybe happened in some way, shape, or form. There's possibilities. Another possibility is that maybe Aggghh is related to the Queen, which is why they might have some sort of relationship. That's another possibility. It's still a little bit unclear to me. There might be some interactions between them, but overall, it's just something to keep in mind for now. So during this phone call between Lily and Freya, she tells her how she met Gray and met her, took them to the doctor, took them in, and there's a very big bombshell drop, but we're going to get to it later when we get to that point in the story. We're going to go back. So, Lily is looking for her birth certificate. Because, guess what? She's figured out, we know that she figures out that Gray's not her mom at some point. We don't know when she does. But, in the explanation I'm giving. She's looking for her birth certificate, likely to finally put the last nail in the coffin that Gray's not her biological mom. This gremlin, okay? She looks like she's like the super, like I'm the sensible one. I'm like I'm no nonsense. Nah, she pops in, into the house while Lily's there. she decides to give her a little scare while Lily is also just moments away from finding a letter left for her by Gray. And she picks it up. She picks up this letter, and you, the player, are asked, hey, do you want to open this? And before you can even select an option, Lily throws it in the trash. So, presumably, there's not... something bad happened here between them. There's some bad blood between Lily, and Gray. Again, this one. But before we can really ruminate on that or try to investigate the trash can a couple times to read the letter, Sif shows up. Not in her, normal, human sprite form that you see on, the in-game, not in cutscenes. No, she shows up in her full demonic form. And also, I'm not sure if they actually are demons. Similar to how I don't know if, to this point, if Lily is a demon or not. I don't know if that's accurate. It's not entirely clear if they actually are demons, or if they are just taking that sort of shape, and that it's just easier in terms of explanation to say that they are demons. Sort of a does the semantics matter type thing right there. But Ad shows, I keep saying Ad because it starts with A. But Sif shows up, shows off her demon form or whatever, and a hole in the floor, a square hole, opens itself up, and Lily falls down into the void. Notable difference between Gray's entrance into the void and Lily's is that Lily's is not intentional. Gray sought the void, and she did not look happy doing it. But she had a mission. She had something to do. Lily does not know why she's here. Lily thinks, for the majority of the time in the void, that the whole thing is a dream. Or at least she keeps telling herself that, because, yeah, that would be scary. That'd be pretty spooky to just fall down a hole, not die, and get surrounded by a bunch of monsters and demons and stuff. Especially if your mom never shut the hell up about demons, Jim! Demons! So, suffice to say, very different tone between the two runs of the game. Lily herself is a lot more sarcastic, somewhat like Gray and Princess Lily back during the cutscenes, because during the cutscenes, Gray is pretty good at, dishing out all the nonsense that she receives from Lily in the game. They have sort of a sarcastic rapport type thing. And at points in the cutscenes for modern... Yeah, we're going to just go with modern Lily, just when I can't point to it because my hands are full. When modern Lily and her have cutscenes as well, they do have a similar jokey rapport. That's nice and enjoyable and a little bit of sassy. So there's Sif. They've got 4 eyes, and that's Lily's little sprite, whatever. I don't have any pictures of it, but I really love the detail that in the little tiny sprite form, whenever a character is super surprised, they got the big eyeball thing, where it's just a square and then a dot in the middle. That's so cute, so funny. I laugh every time I see it. Love it. Love it. I love the art direction of this game. I love the art direction of this game and Zero Ranger, honestly. And I still haven't seen the full scope of either game. I myself have completed every main run of Void Stranger, and I am almost done with doing the same for Zero Ranger. However, there's a couple things in Void Stranger, namely after you do stuff with Diz that I have not done yet. But I know enough about to at least do this part, okay? We're going to come back to it. I'm not going to put this over by Sif, because this is story, this is plot, but yeah. So we get from here, we go to here. Where's my marker? Yeah. So we go from here to here And we go to here. Okay? So you get shot down into the void. Oh, marker, don't run away from me. So you get shot down into the void. What is next that I want to talk about? Okay. Where is my notebook? That's also important. It's buried under paper. Okay. Dang, we're already at 2 hours. Okay, Lily. So now we're gonna just run through some of Lily's cutscenes. Because similar to Gray, throughout the game, when Lily sits under a dream tree, or a lotus tree, we find out that they're called lotus trees or something to that effect. Whenever you sit down under this tree, you have a dream, it shuts the game off, you turn it back on, you get a cutscene. Yada yada. Lily's cutscenes also, for the most part, revolve around Gray, which is an interesting detail. I don't know if it's intentionally because they are only focused on Gray, or if it's just because these are the memories that are relevant and that Gray is still somewhat impacted. In fact, there are memories in which Lily is not present at all, which raises a question, what's going on? Now, my bet is it relates to this. Memory in the void is a tangible thing. And for a reason we're going to get to, when we talk about Diz, that makes way too much sense. That memory has a physical form. And that it can be accessed by a specific terminal. This is wild. This is wild what we're gonna get here. So, Lily's first cutscene, alright? We talked about her having a phone call with Freya. She talks about how they met Gray. Important detail I forgot. There's a solar eclipse going on when this happens. So we move from one solar eclipse in the medieval times to a solar eclipse in the modern day. Interesting note. Also, you may have noticed, I drew this connection between the black star that I mentioned in the original first cutscene of the game and the thing. This looks like this, which looks like these black orbs that are on the title screen of the game and a couple other places. And they might show up in Zero Ranger in a bunch of places, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. There's no time for Zero Ranger. Not yet. Hope you had a different screen. So we get to cover all that. They don't know how the ovaries are gone. They don't know how that's happened. The next cutscene, I am not putting a picture on the board of, because it is of Gray nursing Lily. I'm not. This is as much boob as I'm putting on the board. This is it. This is all you get. Or at least of like uncovered boob. I don't want to get demolished by YouTube. But it's basically just Gray nursing Lily and saying something to the effect that she needs to grow up strong for her mother. Pretty clearly not referring to Gray herself, even though oh shoot, I do need to connect these. We'll do that in a second. Referring to Lily. So it's pretty clear, even just from that cutscene, okay, that Gray has some inkling that Lily and Lily will interact at some point. She just does. We don't know how or why, okay? But we will find out. Following that, we get the next cutscene of Gray and Lily moving into their house. It's real shabby, it's run down, Lily's a kid, and is very cute. Do I have that picture? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's actually 2. And I will cut these out. So there's actually not a whole lot of information to talk about in this cutscene, other than the fact that, one, Gray is clearly well enough acclimated to the modern world that she knows how to use a cell phone. She's using it effectively. It doesn't look uncomfortable for her. She's clothed, with like modern day clothes. And she's basically talking on the phone with who we come to know as Freya. That even though the place is super, super shabby, she's on such a tight budget that she can't really afford much better, so this will do. And luckily, Lily really is enjoying the place. She's excited. She's gonna get a really big room. It's gonna be a blast. She probably didn't have her own room before since they were living with Freya. And Freya herself had a child, so to some degree, things were probably really cramped. If this is the first home that Gray has been able to get at the time, that means that she's been living with Freya for at least, I want to say, judging by the age Lily looks like in this image, I want to say like 5 years at minimum. Which still, that might seem like a lot, but that's pretty good for getting acclimated to not only another country, but an entire other perception of the world, really. Which, props to her and props to Freya. That's, a lot to go through, really. Okay. Okay. So, I really should have cut more of these out before I turned on a camera. But I was running late anyway, so you get more of me cutting things out. Should have seen last week. I was floundering way harder. But that was more so because I got attacked by a whiteboard. That was fun. If you haven't seen that clip, I edited that. I edited it into an actual clip. Turned it into a short. I've never done that before, but it was pretty fun to do. I would like to make more. Hopefully not of me getting attacked by a whiteboard, though. That would not be fun. Okay. So where was I? Yes. So they move into this house, and, everything's good, happy-go-lucky, they're enjoying life. Lily's going to school, so that's cool. Something I bet the princess didn't do. Not because she was the princess, I just don't think they had good schooling, because, man, how do you get a king like that? How do you get a dad like that? Dang. Rude. Ooh, I'm gonna take a second to just let my mouth be shut for a moment. Talking non-stop for just about 2 hours at this point. And we've only just now started what I had planned to talk about this stream. Okay. Actually, that's a little low. Let's make sure it's on the board. Okay. Okay, so from there, I'm gonna be kneeling for a second because my legs are tired. So they move into a shabby house. Oh, okay, and then from here, the next cutscene we see is of Gray reading Lily a bedtime story. Now, this isn't like the full thing. I kind of condensed parts of it, not all of it. I could sit in a chair. I could be sitting in a chair this whole time. I'm gonna sit in a chair for a minute. Okay. Here we go. In the beginning, when sky and earth were still one in the same. A flower of light, a flower bloomed, lighting up the space with stars. Beings who basked in their light were granted both thought and emotion. Filled with gratitude, people began to pray to the stars. But they did not get a reply. Maybe they can't hear us, they thought. With their combined efforts, the worshippers built a great tower, and atop of it, humans were able to gain wings. Pause. Like that? Like those? Like that? Because Gray can use the wings. Lily can use the wings. This is another one of those moments where, like I have been alluding to, I don't know if these are actually demons. I don't know if these are actually demons. Now, they are implied to have been created by what we're about to talk about. But it is interesting detail here that humans, just normal humans, grew wings. Now, I don't know if this is accurate. This could just be a fairy tale. This could just be a translation thing, whatever. But the fact that someone gaining wings is not a new thing is very intriguing. It almost makes me think that they might not have just been created as beings. There is an image of how, like, when they are first created, they're all little baby versions of their monstrous forms. It's very cute. Very cute. But, I don't know, maybe, like, was a person involved? Were they first people? Did they become people? Something. There's something here. It hasn't quite popped into my head as to the what. Back to where we were. Maybe they can't hear us, but they built a great tower, humans grew wings. A star falls, black and full of cold void. This thing that we see at the beginning of the game. This is detailing more on that. This star falls from the sky, crashes on the earth. It has a big impact. You know, it's basically an apocalypse type scenario. Shit goes down. It goes wild. It's dangerous. To the point that demons were born from it. These guys, well, maybe not this, because this isn't a Void Lord. But demons were born from it, causing it to be feared and bad for people, so they buried it deep underground where no one would find it again. And at that point, people learned to fear the stars, just as they had worshipped them. So there's a lot of things we could pull from that. There's a lot. And honestly, it's kind of hard to really, and this I think is one of the images from the window capture that I have to pull up. Nope. Where is it? It's some. Here it is. Here it is. In that, we do get a nice little sort of like mural type image of the black orb that I mentioned. You know, that there's this star. Might not be like completely a star per se. It might be like some sort of orb that just looked like a star because it was falling from like the atmosphere. But it did bring with it the demons, the Void Lords. I thought I cut you out. Why are you still connected to the thing? Get off my finger. And now it's upside down. Okay. We get this image. No? In the middle, you can see those 4 eyes. I pointed over here. It's clearly Sif. So you can see a couple different sets of eyes. There's two sets where I know that's blurry, it's the camera, I'm sorry. There are two sets where they're missing an eye. We get these two. We get all the Void Lords. All the Void Lords are depicted in this. Question is though, why the heck are these eyes at the bottom though? Like these eyes. Like this orb is the orb or whatever. These are the demons. I don't think we get a depiction of Aggghh in this top part. So these eyes could be Aggghh. That's a possibility. It could be something like that. It could be a Zero Ranger thing, and I just hasn't clicked in my brain yet. So who knows? But there's that. I don't need to look at my notes for the next part. I can just do it myself. Where's the tape? There's the tape. Oh my gosh, I should have been sitting in this chair earlier. My back hurts. I do a lot of driving to my college. It's not fun. Okay. So we get that depiction. Following this, we then get Halloween! Yay! Halloween's fun. It's a pretty chill cutscene. It's another one where not like a whole lot of plot happens. Let's be real here, but Lily and Freya's child, whose name is escaping me at the moment, who I am not sure. I could be wrong, but does bear a resemblance to the lost child. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Freya's kid is not dead. There are no signs that that child is dead, but they do kind of look similar. I'm just saying, just something to keep in mind as a potential thing, because like we don't have a whole lot of characters that look super similar, but that is one of them. But Freya luckily got one of their friends to agree to taking the kids out trick-or-treating. So her and Gray get to chill for the night and I think drink some wine or something like that is the implication. They're vibing. They're having a nice time. It's here where we get told that Lily, like her mom, Lily, here's their costumes, by the way. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. Come on, focus. Okay, anyways, but you get kind of a basic look at the costume. Gray, by the way, made this costume, and I just want to say, good mom up here. Freya's also pretty good, even though she just bought her kid the costume. I think her kid's maybe a little bit more of a menace. I don't know why I get that impression, but I do. I get the feeling that she does a bunch of dumb shit. And as a teacher, I can't be mad. Listen. I've seen kids do dumb, goofy stuff a lot. Okay, I can't blame them. You can't blame them. They're kids. They're gonna do that. This one though, she gives me that impression. She definitely gives me that. Where is the marker? There's the marker. Okay. But we find out that Lily, this one, has been getting into fights at school. Now, later on, we come to realize that's because she's getting bullied. And, like, good on her for, like, standing up for herself. Honestly, if the world were different, I would be like, yeah, just go for it. But as a teacher myself, we can't just beat people up as much as I would want to. I'm also a martial artist, so like Restraint is very important. Ah, we went down to 0 viewers for a second. That was funny. So now, okay, that's good to know for me, because that means that myself watching the stream does not count on that. That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you, people watching. Or I guess not watching. Anyways, we don't need the teacher rant from me right now. We're talking about Void Stranger. So Lily's been getting into fights at school, and we later come to know it's because she's getting bullied. She does not know that Gray is not her biological mom. Now, we, the audience, can tell by looking at them, they don't look that similar. Right? That doesn't look similar to Gray. You know? But Lily hasn't been told. And she really hasn't been told any information. I don't think there's really anybody in the modern day that Gray has really told the full story to. I think she's kept that mostly to her chest, and that probably is not healthy. She should see a therapist. A magic therapist, probably. I wrote my notes twice. I really did write my notes twice. Wow. Funny. Funny how that happened. I wrote them in more detail the second time. It's fine. So, a third thing we get from the Halloween is Freya sets Gray up on a date. Because she hasn't really done anything like that. Now, I think throughout the game, there's enough indication that I would say let's get some bi-representation for Gray. She gets it on both sides. It's good for her. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. But yeah, she goes on a date. That's the next cutscene, and I didn't get a picture of that because it turns into a dating sim for a little bit. It's really just one picture, and I didn't think it was important to put on the board. We don't need to know about the guy. All we really need to know about the scene, at least from a couple of the ways that I played through it, is that Gray doesn't really have a great time. Like, she's like, for a moment, she's like, it's kind of fun to talk to a new person. And then she kind of has a mental breakdown towards the end, and she's like, oh, I have vows to people, and I cannot, any moment that I spend here, like, I need to be focused on my goal. That I can't, I have an obligation. I can't really be happy right now. She feels just terrible about Lily, the Princess Lily, this one, still being in the void. She does. She was entrusted, Lily, by the Queen, who I've already said there's hints and stuff that they were closer than just acquaintances. Cool. I mean, she's basically Lily's mom, and then she's Lily's mom's mom, I guess, and mom. A lot of maternal descriptionary going on here, but. Yeah, but we learn in this scene how Gray has been making money as a linguist, or technically like a literary archaeologist type thing. Which, I mean, when you're from the past, yeah, I bet that'd make it easier. Yeah, probably. You'd probably be pretty good at that. But my stuff almost fell off. But that'd make it a lot easier for someone who didn't get a college diploma. Good for her, as someone painfully getting a college diploma right now. Dang. It's not exactly what I wish I was spending my time on, but we aren't there yet. So, you know, in real world, like in the real life, in the real world, yeah, we're not there yet. I don't know if we'll be back on that one. Let's be real. Anyways, next cutscene. Next plot point. So Lily this one, does a callback to the first cutscene of the game where Princess Lily is under her covers having demolished the knights, and they have a little RPG battle. Gray this time around, zero shits. She's not here for it. She's like acting childish, having fun. That's not the time. It's serious mom time. That's supposed to be 3 beats, not however many that was. I'm tired. I'm gonna get to the end of this, but I'm tired. Just let you know, okay? This Lily basically does the same thing, hiding under her covers, pretending to be a monster. She gets bodied by Gray. Literally picks up the stone across the room. Now, pretty sure that's just for cartoonish effect, but dang, she really did not care for any of the tomfoolery going on. She can't really be a kid. Now, Lorgon also mentioned that this this scene is a really good highlight of the differences in how Gray raised Lily and how Gray raised the other Lily. If you are just listening to this in the background, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You should look at the murder board. The murder board's the important part, not me being bad at words. She gets shot down. She gets no fun time. Gray's like, you gotta be getting ready for your next college exam, your placement exams or whatever, so that you can get into a good college before you do military service. Because Lily is going to do military service. That's not a huge detail. I think it's just another sign that Gray is making sure she is prepared for battle. But Lily's like, no. I'm a person. I have wants and needs, and I can make plans too. Me and my friend, we were like, hey, what if we deferred a year and then went and worked some jobs and got some real world experience? Or it might have just been going to other places in the world to see the world a little more and more broadening their horizons kind of thing, which is good for them. That's not a terrible plan. Anything to keep them in college longer, it's probably a good thing. Let's be real. I'm not projecting. You're projecting. Gray's having none of that. She shoots the idea down and storms out of the room. It's really unfortunate, really. However, here's a big one. I mentioned there were some things I disagreed with Lorgon about, and he might have changed his mind on this, having finished his playthrough or whatever. I specifically point out Lorgon because he's basically the only person on YouTube who's done a video, done a whole explanation video, and when you search anything about Void Stranger Explained, he's who shows up. He's at the top. Guy's on it. Here's where I will disagree with him on this point. In this cutscene of Lily, I didn't print this one out, but of Lily, oh, I forgot to print. I'll print that out. I'll cut that out later. We're talking. I'm running out of steam. I was only planning to go for 2 hours at most. When Gray leaves the room, we come to a revelation. B shows up and tells us that you're not supposed to be here, really. This is a weird situation to see. I really don't know how you got here. Where Lorgon posits that these dreams, or sitting under the dream tree, is enabling the Void Lords to interact with the real world, I would counter and say that on the knowledge that memory is a physical thing and that it is being accessed by these trees, I would say that something about sleeping under these trees, getting your memory accessed as a dream, makes it into a tangible thing in the void that can be interacted with. I don't think these memories are we are not seeing them because the character is remembering them. We are seeing them because they are getting pulled out. I don't know if they lose the memory afterwards, but they are at least being brought to the surface to be physically interacted with in sort of like a simulated way. So that's why I think B shows up in this scene and tells us, what the heck are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. You're not supposed to be here. In one of the few times in these cutscenes where we don't see Gray. I think it's the first time, too, where Gray is not there, but Lily is. Just something I wanted to touch on really fast while I had the thought in my head. I think having some knowledge from stuff later on, especially with like Diz, I think that's part of why I think the thing I just said. But after this, the next cutscene is Lily a little bit into her military service. Gets her hair cut. Gets a haircut. Do I have a picture for this, or is this one of the ones that I did not bring with me? This might be a bring... I didn't even have a picture for this plant. Okay. Fantastic. It's basically just Lily with short hair, but in like a not badass outfit. Okay, we're good. Pretty simple. She gets a haircut because this one is like, I'm gonna be a hairstylist, I think. I think I'm good at that. That's about all the detail we get there. I'm sorry I don't remember her name. I think it's like Sylvia or something like that. She's being a hairstylist. And she's like, hey, can I cut your hair? And like practice. And as like an act of like, yeah, I'm rebelling against my parental figure because she's giving me a hard time. It's like, yeah, sure. Gets her haircut. Comes home. Says hi to Gray. Gray flips her shit. She is livid. She is so incredibly pissed. And, like, modern day, it's like, well, who gives a crap if the kid wants short hair? Let it be. It's gonna come. They'll grow back. I'm a person who has who likes having long hair, and even I am like, sometimes it's like, I gotta get a haircut sometimes, you know? This kid, up until this scene that I'm talking right now, I don't think this kid ever had a haircut. I think she just had it styled. I think just straight up, she just never got a cut. I mean, look at like Princess Lily. Her hair never gets cut. And it's in like a ponytail, and these pictures aren't great really showing it because of the background on all the colors blending. But I don't think... Gray's hair is also really long, notably. You can't see it when it's put up like that, but especially when she starts doing badassery shit, she literally like throws her hair up, and it's like, does that like cool anime, like it's like, oh, it's like kind of floating, and like, yeah, you're cool and powerful, and yeah, all that. So, seeing Lily do this, we, as a modern audience, are like, well, what the heck? Why are you freaking out? She's from the medieval times. She's from, or maybe not the medieval times, but like the past. In the past, there are a lot of cultures that tied the length of hair or the amount of time spent not cutting one's hair to a sort of spiritual power. I mean, there's Samson. I think that the one. I think that's like the Bible or whatever, where the guy's super strong because God gave him like, it's like, as long as you don't, your hair is your power. As long as you don't cut it, good for you, dog. Keep going. And then someone cuts it and he gets real weak and just like, oh, that was my power. But there's a bunch of other situations where like hair and stuff. There in certain I think African cultures too. There are similar things I think related with like braiding hair in a couple things. I might be pulling that out of my ass. I will double check. But in a bunch of cultures, hair length has an importance, and the earliest reasons for that importance is sort of like symbolic. Well, in a world with demons and shit, we don't know if it's symbolic. It might just be a real thing. It might just be. And so seeing Lily do that, Gray flips her shit. She loses it. Throws her pot of chili off the burner. She's so mad. And Lily gets mad too, because, like, she's a teenager. She's a teenager who's already been having some problems with, like, rebellion with her mom, who's been a little too controlling. And so they start slinging mud at each other. But unlike with Gray and Princess Lily, there's some like malice this time around. They are mad, and like she says some naughty bad stuff. It's like, that's rude, but you're a teenager. You don't know better. And Gray hits her with the zinger. You're worse than your mother. You are worse than your mother. This, some might say that the Gray's lowest point in the game is here when Lily first gets sent to the Void. I think it's here. I think this moment, this is shock. This is shock. I'm not gonna judge a person by shock. When we get to this point in the story, Gray has had years and years to work through this, to have a healthy relationship with it. And here, she snaps and says, and reveals this in probably one of the ugliest ways possible to share some phrasing with Lorgon. This is Gray's true lowest point. And I think the saddest thing about it is this is the last time we see Gray alive. Somewhere between this cutscene and the one that follows, Gray dies. Fully dead. Gone. We don't know how. We don't know why. There are, however, some clues that might suggest she died of breast cancer. In far off ending, when we get to the ending, Lily herself is wearing the little loop thing that is indicative of, like, breast cancer awareness. One of the reasons people think Add and Gray might be related, is here. This the shading of her chest. Now, I've already taped it to the page, but on her left breast, there is a black shape that's been colored in. And on a first glance, that looks like it very easily could just be shading. But the more you stare at it, and the more I've looked at it, the more I genuinely think that is a hole. Because some of the other statues of the Void Lords, when they're in this fully realized state, have holes. One example is Lev, who was said to be heartless. There's a hole in her chest, like higher up, but her chest, where a little diamond thingy is sticking out. We know that's supposed to be indicative of her heart. I think this is indicative of some sort of removal of breast tissue. So, and with the little loop thing, and the fact that in the first cutscene that you see as Lily, when you go to the house, when you are looking for your birth certificate, you can go to the bathroom and you can find a bunch of pills strewn about the bathroom. Now, when I first played through the game, I got really worried of two possible things. One was Lily doing drugs or some stupid shit, but that didn't make sense, because the fact that she took a cab to get here, the fact that she had to go through and rummage through stuff, I didn't think she had been living here for a while. The place looked kind of dusty, almost like things were not. It hadn't been empty for a long time, but it had been for a little bit. There are a bunch of pills and things in the bathroom, and I got really worried that did Gray get hooked on some sort of modern drug or whatever, but we never get any inclination of that. And so knowing that she dies, and this is likely the first time Lily goes home after Gray dies, I think those were maybe like cancer medications or pain medications or something to that degree. And that Gray, this mighty warrior who fought demons, fought this asshole, probably did some messed up stuff in her past, is ended by a modern tragedy. Well, not a modern tragedy, but a human tragedy. Not because she was killed in battle, not because she got to sacrifice herself for someone else, but because her body gave in. Because her body gave out. This game has moments in it that are utterly tragic. Some are coded in an air of comedy or pizzazz to, brighten the tone, but then there are somber moments where playing through, I cry. I'm a little teary-eyed right now, just remembering the emotions of coming to this realization. I've had people in my family pass from cancer. I cannot imagine the cocktail of emotions that Lily went through at the start of her run, when she goes home, looks for her birth certificate. To know that the last time that they were feuding, or at least the last time that we see them interact, while Gray is alive, is probably the worst fight that they have ever had. That is so deeply tragic that it really, really coats the remainder of the playthrough of this run, of this story, in just a deep sense of dread and sadness the more we find out. The phone call, the cutscene where this is revealed, where Gray is revealed to have died, is the one that we had to talk about early. Where Lily is told how Freya and Gray met. And in that call, the very end, Freya tells her that Gray loved you like one of her own. She worked so hard. She treated you as best she could and did so much because she cared. And Lily is implied to really not have been able to digest this conflict between her last moments with this loved one whom she'd been having a very rocky time with, and the fact that she misses her. Gray is her rock in a way. Apart from her friend, apart from Freya, a lot of Lily's personality and a lot of ways she had modeled herself, even though Gray tried to imbue her with a lot of these things, is because Lily looks up to Gray. A lot of things that Gray did, Lily emulates. Not just implicitly, explicitly. There are a lot of things that they do that mirror each other. Not just Lily and Lily mirroring each other. There's a lot of Gray here. There's a lot to be said about, biological family and having things that are reflected in one another. But even in this, in found family, in the people who raise us, the people who give us that, I think is so profound. And I didn't mean to bring us to a somber note like this, but I think it's important to address. I'm gonna let the cars pass by while they're playing music. Okay. Following this, we finally enter the void as Lily. Mostly because I need to wrap the stream up, and because I'm tired, I'm gonna hold off on putting more stuff on the board for now. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish up what I wanted to talk about. When we get into the void, Lily thinks it's a dream. Like I said, she thinks it's all a dream. One of the characters she first interacts with is Tail. Use. However, Use, I'll still show the image on screen. Use, instead of looking like a well-endowed woman, looks like this. I guess like a big old snake. And unlike Gray, who does not really have a whole lot of like verbal interactions with the people she finds in the void, Lily absolutely does. She banters with everybody a little bit. She has a little fun with it. She's got that modern sarcastic touch to her, which is fun. When talking to Tail, Tail reveals that one of the traits of Asmodeus was that she would take on the form of those who of the one that those who looked upon her most loved, the deepest love that they had, or they're it's sort of implied to be more romantic than like family or like, you know, that sort of relationship. So knowing that, who is she looking like in this picture when Gray's here? This is like the dead ringer for me saying that Gray was almost definitely into the Queen. And it probably reciprocated at least a little bit. Let's be real, probably King doesn't sound that great. Because we know this can't be Lily, which would be gross. I don't want to think about the implications of that. The internet has enough terrible things in it as is. I think this is supposed to be the final like nail in the coffin that Gray was very close to the Queen. She was entrusted Lily, not just as a lady in waiting, but essentially as, I care about you almost to such a degree that I can think of no better person to take care of my child than you. Which makes it all the more heartbreaking that that Gray essentially has to do that a second time with the person that she raised the first time. Anyways, Tail also, shares a few more details. Or in the conversation, we get a few more details. Like, Lily has knowledge of use. Like, she has been told a bunch of stories of demons and the void, which adds to the implication that Gray, to some degree, was preparing Lily for this event. This situation. Whether or not she intended for it to happen or just wanted to be prepared for it. Other people she interacts with in the void include the bandit that Gray bodies in the first run. Oh my god, I laughed my ass off when I saw that guy show up again. And the best part is, I should have gotten a picture. I'm going to have a picture of this the next time we open stream. The moment Lily is even slightly like, this guy's a sleazeball, she gets into a fighting stance. And I already told you that she takes the exact same fighting stance that Gray takes. Probably because Gray's the one who trained her. The moment she does, the bandit's eyes like, whoosh. He drops to the ground, lays himself prone at her feet, drops all of his weapons, all of his gear, his clothing. He is gone. He's like, please spare me. Please spare me. This man has so much PTSD. Even in death, he cannot even fathom the idea of taking another hit from not even just this woman, but anyone that this woman has trained. And I love that. It's such a fun detail. It's so good. It's so good. She also finds a girl who is, I think, modern day coded, named Ninny. And instead of meeting the thief like Gray did, where Gray's scaff is stolen and she has to, run through a bunch of floors without it and try to get it back, Ninny is an escort mission, where you have to create a path in every room for Ninny to get to the end. And oh my gosh, I mean, shoot, there's still a sad face in the chat from, I think, this implication, but we're finally here on one of the things I said we'd get back to. Ninny, unlike the other NPCs, except for the lost child, who it is impossible to exit the room without either killing them or dying yourself and resetting the room or using the bee statue. Ninny, you eventually come to a room where the exit is blocked. Not by a hole, not by a monster, not by even a rock or an egg. Any of those things would have been fine. There would be an implication that something could be done, something could be figured out, that there was just a puzzle missing. When you get to this room, you have been talking with Ninny and essentially you've developed a small bond up to this point, where Ninny's a very shy person. She's empowered by Lily's fierce determination to keep going, that she can handle herself, that she is not going to let this, get her down. And these two bond in such a way where, honestly, if this was another time, another place, I think they'd get together. I think it's like that immediate of these two people click. The thing that blocks you from the exit is one of Ton's statues. Remember when I said no entity? I said they disappear when you kill all of the other entities in a room. The first moment when you encounter this property, where it is not just the monsters, is the lost child. The reason you can't get to the exit in those situations is because it's blocked by Ton's statue. This situation is awful. Instead of Lily, not even, I think, at one point, not even at all, contemplates the idea of ending Ninny. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I could be wrong, but under no circumstances does she even go to that idea. Ninny, on the other hand, doesn't have that thought. But after the concept of the statue, because at this point Lily does know what most of the statues do, she explains it, because she's, solved puzzles with the thing. She understands how it works. She explains how the statue works, and Ninny kind of figures it out. Lily, I don't know if she does, or if she allows herself to, but Ninny gives up. You have to turn the game off. And when you do, time has passed. You are taking sleeping shifts of hoping that something changes. You do this a couple times, and eventually, the statue is gone. There's no bloody corpse. There's no deafening silence. There is an egg. all of the eggs in the dungeon, and you could figure this out in other ways. There are some other hints towards it, are lost souls. These are souls that have died, have entered the void, and have not the heart to go on. Ninny, now being an egg, wishes Lily good luck and apologizes for being unable to continue. And yet again, we are brought from happy-go-lucky to utterly gut-wrenching. This is a girl who just wanted to be confident in herself, just wanted to have support. And the moment she gets that, the moment she is comfortable with this person, and in fact, this person seems to like her, seems to actually genuinely care about her in a way that, even if they're only newly met, is there. You can feel it. It is ripped away from her by circumstance. I have been punched, I've been kicked, I've been injured in a lot of ways. This hurt. This hurts. But we have to keep going. We have to keep moving forward. I think the only other remaining characters that Lily interacts with are the lost child. The dialogue is a little different. The kid puts her on blast. It's funny. And then the king. The king is here. King is on the I think the second to last floor before you get to the you have made it to the end stuff. And the king initially thinks he's seeing Lily, or some illusion of Lily. Princess Lily, sorry. And he's not here for it. And Lily tells him what for. And eventually it kind of clicks in his head. It's like, oh, this is not my daughter. However, the moment that this happens, Lily enters a stance like Gray. And we've already seen from the bandit that one could argue that that is a sign that this person is trained by Gray. That it's almost signature of her in a way. In this moment, I not only think that the king realizes that this is not his daughter, I think he realizes in some deep way that this is his granddaughter, or at least some descendant of it. I think he does. Something notable about his placement is, if you're looking at a 9 or a 7 hells or rings of sin or whatever, where he ends up is people who atone or realize everything that they've done and are they feel terrible about it, and they have that moment of I needed to have done something different here. This was not good. On their death, which usually happens in very violent deaths, such as being smited by this terrible individual. I'm running out of steam. He gives her some parting words and tells her to keep on moving forward. You wouldn't want to talk with me. I wish there was more dialogue, because this scene almost makes me kind of think he could be redeemable. He's dead, sure, but if you give him maybe 1 or 2 more scenes, I think he maybe could have had a moment where he apologizes and acknowledges he was a not great parent. Kinda cool. I am down for that. I'm cool with that. The problem is that when Lily gets to the lowest point that she can make it to, when she has this phone call, it breaks her, because she finally has to confront her grief and pain. She can't do it. Earlier in the game, when I talked about Gray meeting a reflection of herself, that reflection was positive. It told her, you have to keep going. Lily's reflection looks like herself in her Halloween costume. And it is almost entirely in the scene where she has to interact with it. It is negative. It tears her down. It berates her. It tells her all of the little things that she probably thinks awfully about herself. And it's a sign for what comes towards the end. Because Lily herself, like Ninny before her, gives up. She gives in. She becomes an egg. And then this goober comes over and is like, dinner time. And here is the moment where it is revealed that Aggghh is not fully dead. It is not clear if this is actually Aggghh or some presence of Aggghh. But Bee's reaction gets the full cartoon eyes and tongue popping out of her head. She's like, oh my god, you're alive? What the hell? How? How? That doesn't make any sense. And then she gets bodied. She gets gone. Smacked. Be gone! By Aggghh. Her sprite's shot, gone. And that will be important, I think, next stream. But she comes, she picks up the egg, and she tells her, you're not supposed to be here. You should not be here. And in the process of doing so, I think it's specifically, you do not belong here. Lily is broken out of her shell. She has made it through this harrowing incident, and she is rewarded for it with a vision of the Black Star crashing down and landing on the planet. It's different from the cutscene we've seen before. It's one of those sorts of visions where the character's kind of just like standing and floating in the middle of a dream sequence type thing, flashing before their eyes. But it is wild. It's not clear how much information Lily gets from this moment, but it's definitely eye-opening, that's for sure. Following that, she and Gray. She is brought to the Queen's gravesite, restored in some way, and Gray, in medieval attire, who is silent. And she airs out all of the things she wished she could say, all of the anger, the resentment, the guilt, and most importantly, by the end of it, the fact that she wished she could actually be talking to Gray again. Because all things aside, all awful moments aside, she loved her. That's her mom. She misses her more than anything. It has torn her up inside, and she wishes she could say that say these things to her, so that they could talk through, so they could work through their problems, so that they could be a family again. And then this version of Gray, whether or not it's real, embraces her. Reaffirms her. Reminds her that Gray loved her. Gray cared about her in the deepest way that only a parent can. She's brought back to the house, where she finds the letter, back where it was before she threw it away. And she picks it up. And there is a letter inside, but we don't see what is on it. The important thing is, though, that Gray left that letter for her. And what does she find in that letter, in that envelope? The wedding gift. The amulet that she has kept. Now, I said that Gray gave this amulet to Princess Lily, but in the process of this whole debacle, it was returned to her. And this is the moment. This is the moment where their problems with one another are totally melted away. Immediately, the moment that you are returned with the amulet, you are brought before the Zero Court once again. Notably missing B, because she got yeeted. She's gone. Bah, bah, bah. Gone. Zero Judge informs her that she doesn't really have the devotion or the situation to be awarded a contract, but what does she want? Like, what is it that she has come this far to achieve? And instead of asking for a soul, even asking to bring Gray back, which is what you might expect to be what she does, all she says is that she wants her mother to know that she is grateful, that no matter the reason she was chosen to be taken, that she is grateful and that she hopes Gray is at peace. And she calls her mother in this moment, and it's very clear that she is referring to Gray. And this is the moment, Lorgon put this very well, that Gray is forgiven for all of her sins, for all of her guilt, that this is the moment where she is lifted. Her burdens are not hers to bear anymore. She may rest peacefully. And this is so impactful to Zero Judge that, as we see here, her mask is exploded and the background behind her cracks like that of a screen and blows off. And it is revealed what Zero Judge's face looks like. Now, I could get into why this actually blows your mind if you've played Zero Ranger. I don't have time for that. We're going to talk about that next time. But just know, this is a holy shit moment. For real. And I mean it, for real. As a sign of good faith, or some sort of cosmic reaction to this moment of just pure, unbridled love for another person, Lily is given to Lily. And now that might have sounded weird, but no, I mean this Lily is given to this Lily. She has not aged. So we have run into one of those moments where temporally switched around parent-daughter things, which it's weird that that's an actual trope I can point to. But hey, it's a thing. And it is revealed here in one final conversation. We don't get to see imagery of it, but we get a conversation between Gray and Lily moments before before Gray is sent to the modern time, where it is implied that they together made the plan, or at least decided to send Gray to the future with the baby. The dialogue itself is of the two having their first meeting in some time. And of Lily naming her child, not, this not naming her child exactly herself. She names her child after the brightest star in the sky, a polar opposite to this black star. She names her child Lilith. This whole time, Lily has just been Gray's nickname for her, or someone's nickname for her that Gray caught on to. Which brings us a whole other, metaphorical historical context thing we'd need to figure out. But she is sent back to her home with Lily in tow. And the game is over. Right? That story is over. Lily has, even if Gray has passed on, Lily and Lily have made it. Gray's duties are ended. They are over. The adventure of life goes on. Something that is said both at the end of Gray's run and Lilith's run. Void Stranger Lilith is our end card for her run. That is not the only time where we see this phrase. There is a third run of the game. One for Sif. And oh my god, it gets complicated, but that is not what we're going to talk about next time. Or at least, not what we're going to start at. This ending that I have just explained to you in detail is not the only ending. And it is not clear if these endings are, one of them is true, one of them, or I'm sorry, there's multiple endings. It's not clear if one of them is true. If one of them is, this is what actually happens. However, the problem is, this is a world in which time travel exists, which if I haven't said as much, there's your, time travel's a thing. Because this one is their fault. It's technically it's humanity's fault, but it's their fault that I have to bring this up. This is the normal ending of the game. This is what happens when you get to the end of Lilith, and most of the other endings are either variations. The other major ending can be occurred in two different ways on both Gray's run, which has significant differences to how it is achieved in Lilith's run. That is when we figure out the brand of Diz. And that is where we will start next time. I could do a little wrap-up of all this. One person in the chat, do you have any questions for me so that I can take a second, take a sip of this, and end the stream? Oh my gosh. Ugh, my throat is so parched. It's so dry. My singular viewer. Thanks for the note. Okay, that'll work. the little emoji thing. That's fine. Okay. We've covered a lot. This is a lot. Like, we started with, like, just stuff here, and then we've added a bunch here, and even though I'm still gonna have to add more stuff to the board, enjoying the ramblings, thank you. That's what I'm hoping for. Like last time, I was maybe thinking about doing karaoke afterward, but I am too tired, and I need to get home. So, unlike last time, oh, it's just a description of... Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty accurate. The fans at this point. Oh. At this point, unlike last stream where I forgot my actual, like, sign out, I realized while I was editing stuff, I was like, oh. It sure had been so long since I had done YouTube content that I forgot my outro. But, yeah, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope this was enjoyable. Next time I do anything like this, not like next murder board stream, but like next time I do like a live analysis of something, I'm probably not gonna do it with the whiteboard. I'm probably gonna make like a PowerPoint or something, because this is so hard to say. Oh my gosh. Also, I can be closer to the microphone, and it's 4 in the afternoon! I gotta go do things! I have homework to do! It's not time yet! Anyways, anyways, I do need to go. I did tell my dad that I'd be done with this and bring him back home in 2 hours, and it's been 3 hours since I went live. So, I'm Changer Hero. I said it wrong. Yeah, for YouTube video purposes, I'm not including that part. Now that we have made it to the end, I hope you, not just you, but anyone who watches this in the future, has a great day, noon, or night. Change your hero.